That time I fell into a sewage ditch. All right, let me preface this again, for those of you who have already kind of sort of heard the story, to say I'm okay. Mostly. I'm mostly okay. Everything hurts. Everything on my body hurts except for my head and my ankles. And like I say head, like I mean my entire head. Like I didn't hurt my head, thank goodness. But literally from the neck down, I hurt. But yeah, let me tell you about how I fell into a sewage, drainage, whatever. It was a ditch. All right. So anyway, I'll start basically from 3 p.m. on Friday. Yeah. So, I left work early on Friday so I could go, to the bank. Because the other day, I don't remember the exact day, but it was like the end of November. The freaking ATM over here ate my debit card. In Taiwan, if you take too long to take your debit card out of the ATM will keep it, essentially. Like, for those of you that don't know that. I knew that, but I think I just forgot. Like, you know, I didn't like just take too long. I think I literally like left it there in the ATM. Anyway, I'm pretty sure there's a way to get it out, but I don't know how to do it. And the guy at the convenience store, he was just like, and I was like, okay, you're going to be absolutely no help. So anyway, I was like, I'll just go to the bank. They'll probably just give me another card. It'll probably be fine. You know, and I'll just, because it was almost like payday too. So I'm like, oh, I need my debit card. Right. So, I go to the bank and I'm thinking like, fine, I will just get a card or whatever. I had the secretary at my school, I had her call, and I asked her to ask them like, can I get another card? I mean, like the answer of course should be yes, but, like what, you know, well, how do I do this? So they were like, okay, we can't give you a card today. But you can order one, like you can order a card. And I'm like, and they were in like, she said something along the lines of like, we'll send it to you or we'll give it to you or something like this. Anyway, in my head, I'm like, okay, I'll just like wait a few days and get another card. Right. And so, I went to the bank and I'm like, let's do this. I left my school at 3 o'clock. I am about 10 to 12 minutes from the bank. Okay. Just to give you like a time, like of how long this is taking. I did not leave that bank until 4 p.m. or around 4 p.m. And I was just like so mad because it is, of all the things that I like about Taiwan, like obviously I've been living here for years. Their banking system is from the 1800s. Like I don't understand. Like obviously like their online banking is like most banks is like, okay, but it's probably all in Chinese. My bank, both of them actually, well, 2 of the 3 banks that I have, are in English. But a lot of the other banks, from what I hear from people, their apps are in Chinese. And there's like no setting where you could change it to English. You better read Chinese. Like that's, you know, and, I mean, that's understandable, but, for a place that's constantly like, we want to be on a global stage. We want to, welcome foreigners. We want foreigners to feel like they can call Taiwan home, yada, yada, yada. It's things like that, like money things, like visa things, like things like this, what that really make people not feel welcome here. I'm fortunate because I'm American, and I think that definitely plays a big part in which visas I'm allowed to get and how long I'm allowed to stay and all these kind of things. Even how people treat me in other countries, like, because obviously my exterior is black, right? And then I'll go somewhere and I don't know what it is, but people always assume that I'm African, like not African American, just like from a country within Africa. And I'm like, no, I'm American. You know what I mean? Like, and then as soon as they hear that, their whole like attitude changes toward me. It's really strange, and a little unnerving at times, because I'm like, why did that make a difference? Why does that make a difference in how you treat me? But anyway, I will roll back to what I was saying. So I go to the bank and I explain the situation, ATM in my car, yada, yada, yada. She's like, okay, you can fill this out. I'm filling out the paperwork and I'm like, okay, how long? I'm thinking like maybe a week, because that sounds doable, right? And she goes, no, you have to wait 2 weeks. 2 weeks for me to get another card. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Stamping the plastic out yourselves? I'm like, are the tellers back there like beating the plastic into the card shape? Why does it take 2 weeks for you to issue me another card? And so I'm thinking maybe it's going to take 2 weeks because they're going to send it to my house, right? Which is like pretty much every country that I've lived in, when I've had a problem with a debit card or bank situation, they would like usually send it to my house so I don't have to come all the way back. Not in Taiwan. Like I'm sure some banks maybe, like I don't have every single bank in Taiwan. This is my experience. Before somebody's like, it's not all banks. Okay. Anyway, so she tells me not only do I have to wait 2 weeks, but I have to physically come back to get my card. And I was like, so you guys cannot send this card to my house? Huh? She's like, no, you have to come and pick it up. Like, she's not saying this with an attitude, mind you. The lady was very nice, but I was just like, seriously? So anyway, what else? I'm trying to continually recall and also relax my muscles at the same time, guys. Sorry. What else? Oh, so anyway, and then I told her, I'm like, I'm not sure if I can come back, because at my school we have a banking leave each month. They give us a couple hours to go handle bank things, right? And the way my schedule is set up, I have a pretty full schedule like during the week. So I'm like, there's not really a time that I can leave campus, go here, fiddle with you, and then come back. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I use my banking time because I thought I could handle this in one day, not have to come back again. And she's like, well, if you can't come back, your friend can come back for you. Now I'm alarmed, because I'm like, this is my, one, personal information. Two, it's money stuff. Like, how could you say it's okay for me to let my friend, even if it's somebody that I know or even somebody I trust, how could you allow them to take like a legal document or like a, you know what I mean, for me? That's another thing that I really don't care for in Taiwan. The line of like privacy is very blurred here. And I will also get back to that later at the end of the night. I will also go back to that, how that line is blurred. And it really alarms me quite a lot. And I'm hoping that nothing ever happens to me where that I cannot speak for myself or something like this. And they just telling everybody my business, because it's, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, so, I will pause this and then do another clip in case I can't split this. So anyway, then she's like, or your boss could come, you know, like your boss could come and get it. I'm like, again, my personal documents, my personal bank account. Like, what if I got money coming in from somewhere else and this person you give my card to, maybe they were like, oh, can you give me a receipt with her bank balance, since y'all just giving out information? Like, it bothers me so badly. Anyway, so at this point I was like genuinely like upset. I was just like, this is the most ridiculous thing. And so, they give you these little bank book things in Taiwan, along with your debit card, is where you can basically keep an eye on what you spend. And if you're like me, I spend a hell of a lot. So, that bank book does me no good. It just sits in my, my case. Because it does me no, I'm like, I shop too much. Like, I'm gonna I run out of pages. Then they're like, oh, we'll give you another one. I'm like, that's okay. Anyway. So then the lady tells me, you can pull out money though. Like, you can pull out cash. And I'm like, fine. I'll pull out money. The ATM is like, you come out of the bank, this particular bank. You come out of the bank and you go into like a little room that's next door, and it has all the ATMs and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go over to the bank. Over to the ATM and take some money out. And I go over there, and like, again, I've just ordered a new card. So the lady knows that I don't have a card, right? But in some cases, like my other bank, that passbook, you can also withdraw money with that passbook. So I'm thinking that they have an ATM that is the same. And so I go over there and I'm like, okay, I'm looking around at these ATMs. All of them are card slots. And I'm like, this lady just told me to go pull out money, but there's nowhere to put this passbook. And I was like, I know that I'm upset, but I'm like, my eyes also work. You know what I mean? And so the banks are closed super freaking early. They close 3:30. And I'm like, most people are not even off of work yet. Like, here in Taiwan, most people get off around like 5 p.m. I was like, there's not even a day that they stay open till like 6 even. Like, even if it was one day a week that they stayed up until 6 p.m. Like, even that would help people to handle their business. Because what if they work somewhere they literally cannot leave? Like, you know, even for lunch hour, even if they're too far away. Like, very inconvenient. Anyway, and so I'm looking around the ATMs. There's nowhere to put this passbook. And I'm just like, okay. So I went and like do on the door, and the security guard's like, yeah, what's wrong? I'm like, how is she going to tell me to pull out money when I cannot? Hello, are our brains working right now or no? So then I walk back in and I tell the lady, I was like, the ATM that we just talked about me going to get money from, I can't use this. And so she brings another lady over that speaks better English than she does. And the lady's like, oh my gosh, oh yes, you have to take out money over the counter. I was literally just standing in front of you. Why wouldn't you just tell me that? I was like, at this point, I'm boiling. I'm just like furious. I was like, this is the dumbest shit I have ever seen in my life. I was so upset because I'm like, you guys have had me in here for almost an hour and we've handled nothing other than you telling me I wasted my bank hours for this month to come talk to you again for nothing, because I didn't get a card. I didn't get to like go to the ATM and pull out money. I had to turn back around and come back to you. I was like, and you think people are supposed to like, what, come on lunch hour? How? When it takes me an hour just to talk to you. Then I leave and I'm already late for work. I was like, it baffles me. It baffles me. The whole system. And I'm not the only foreigner that feels like this. Like, I've worked with a lot of people that are just like very angry at the banks here. And I've heard from Taiwanese people that there used to be a lot of like money laundering stuff going on in Taiwan. And that's the reason why the banking is supposed to be so just overwhelming for people now. Because basically they're trying to like thwart any type of fraud. And I'm like, people doing bad things are going to do what they want to do. Okay? Like, they're going to do it whether you make all these rules or not. People are still going to be money laundering in your country. People are still going to be doing bad things. Can I please get my card? Like, anyway, then fast forward. I went to go see my friend for a little bit. He owns a restaurant here. And because I was going to go to another city to go shopping with my other two friends, whom I will mention later in the story. And I was like, I need to eat because I'm legitimately hangry right now, because I've already had like this puzzling encounter at the bank. And then I was like, now I still need to prepare myself to be on the road for like an hour and a half to go to this other city. And I'm like, I can't do that hungry. I can't. I was like, because I'm going to be like yelling at everybody. And I don't want to be in that kind of mood. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm trying to have a better day or better rest of my day. You know, just trying not to make it devolve into something else. It's like, you know, I'm normally a generally happy person. I can get a little snappy sometimes, but I'm generally like try to be kind and polite to people because, you know, we're all humans and whatever. And so I went and did that, and I went to go get my car. And so here's where the rest of the shenanigans of the night begins. I started driving my car. And one thing, Google Maps is constantly trying to kill me. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, Google's always trying to take me on some off-road, please make a right when ain't no right. I don't know. Anyway. And so Google, instead of taking me, there's an expressway, exit or on-ramp by my house, like within 5 minutes of my house. And so I was driving and I was wondering, like, why did Google take me like around this like street, whatever, right? I was like, I don't understand. I could just be on the expressway right now. But I am thankful for this part that Google did, you know, have its attempt on my life, this time, because it was on the street and not the expressway. I was not going as fast. And I got to actually see the smoke coming out of my car. I still don't know why my car was smoking. The mechanic, is going to come get it on Monday. So it's Saturday for me right now, for those of you that are not in the same, area and country and whatnot. And so they're going to come get it, on Monday. And so, I still don't know what's wrong. I just know it smelled electrical. It didn't smell like oil or anything like that. So, and I didn't see anything leaking because I've had other cars before. So I did like my little general, you know, eyeball in it, and we didn't see anything. So I was like, I don't know, but I know I'm not going to drive this car and blow my ass up. I'm good on that. So anyway, so it was me, my friend Jenny, and my friend Sheila in the car. And I stopped and got gas. And it was coming from the front of the car, by the way, not the back of the car. So it wasn't like there was gas leaking or something like that. And it didn't smell like gas. It's just, you know, anyway. So we're driving and I had to pull over on this road because Google was about to take us onto the expressway. And I'm like, is that smoke I see? We're like, we need to pull over. This is dangerous. So coming up the road, I'm trying to pull over. There's this like huge ditch, right? And I'm like, why is this ditch just uncovered like this? Like, there's no yellow cones. There's nothing. It's just the side of the street. Like, you see the barriers, like, so you won't go over onto like the expressway, but that's it. Then there's a ditch there. And I was like, what is happening here? So then, I had to pull over. I had to wait till I got to a part of the street that was like a whole street again, like that I could pull like over and park for a little while. And I turned on my flashes and whatnot. I called the guy who sold me the car, and he called insurance and yada yada. So me and my friends are sitting in the car, and he was like, the insurance people will call you, like the tow truck people will call you so they can come and get you. And I'm like, cool. I'm thinking this is going to be a fast experience because I'm American, and like usually, you know, we got AAA, we got whoever your insurance people are, whatever, right? They usually are the ones that will come and, you know, come get you. Like, you know, you're just like, hey, I'm on this road, and they find you, you know what I mean? And so the insurance people called, and like, I speak Chinese. I say this in a very broad, general manner. I can hold general conversations. I am not fluent by any means, but I can usually say what I want to say, right? Even if I gotta say it in the most kindergarten way possible, I can let you know what I'm trying to do, right? And this guy, so the insurance people called, and the one lady, she didn't speak any English, and she was like, Only thing she could tell me was that she couldn't speak English, and the person that it can speak English will call me back. And I was like, okay, girl, whatever. It's fine. So, I was waiting for the phone call, and then the guy gets on the phone who was supposed to be able to speak English. And, he's like, I need to know where you are. But because we're on this street that leads to the expressway, there's nothing around us. It's just a street. Like, because it's supposed to take you onto the expressway. So I was like, there ain't shit over here. And there's nothing. And so, my other friend is looking on Google Maps. She's like, oh, there's a muffler shop in front of us, but that's it. Like, there's nothing else on this long road except for this, like, auto shop. And we're like, okay. And so he's like, well, I need to know what street you're on. So then my friend, again on Google Maps, she's like, okay, Google says we're on this road. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm like, this is the road we're on. I don't know exactly what part of the road, but it's just one long road. It's like, we're the only car here. I told you my license plate number. You told you what color the car is. When you come verify that it's me. I can tell people addresses in Chinese. Like, back to what I was saying, like, I'm not fluent, but there are things that I can handle in Chinese. I can tell people where I am in Chinese, what I'm near, what I'm by, like all those vocabulary words. I know those things. I know how to use them. I know how to say them. This man and this lady from the insurance company, they were just like, we can't understand what what street this is. We don't know what you're trying to tell us. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, for real? Because I know that's how you say it. So then, my other friend in the back, she takes out her phone and she's like, well, maybe I can like put it into Google Translate and Google can tell you, like, you know. So we tried that and they were like, oh, we still can't understand, ma'am. And he just insisted that I go find a Taiwanese person that he can speak to. I was like, bruh, are you for real? Then even the guy that I bought my car from, he said he even sent them, like I sent him a location pin. He said, I also sent them the location pin. It makes no sense why they could not find you or why they don't know, like, what street you're on. And so I'm just like, this is craziness. So then my friend, again, she had talked about the muffler shop. So I'm like, the muffler shop is about a minute or so walk, right? From us. And I was like, you know, and he was like, yeah, can you go get a Taiwanese person to talk to? I was like, this is outrageous. So I get out the car, which again, I shouldn't have been out of the car in the first place. That's the whole, like, bottom line of this whole story. Shouldn't have had to leave my car. I should have been able to sit in my car and wait for a tow truck without having to leave my vehicle. Because it's unsafe. I'm on like just a random road. Anyway, so me and my friends walk up there. And we give the phone to the owner, I guess, who was very nice, by the way, because we bothered him a good 2 hours. And I give him the phone and he tells the guy the exact same address or like street that I told him in Chinese. And that pissed me off so much because I was like, you guys do not accept Chinese coming out of my mouth, but I literally said the same thing that this man said. So how could you understand him because he's Taiwanese, but you couldn't understand me when he literally just told you the same thing? Oh, again, I'm like just pissed. From the bank to this, I'm like, bro, let me tell you how angry. Like, I was getting genuinely angry because I'm like, I shouldn't even be dealing with this. That's the whole point of this. So then, I'm like, all right, we're going to go back and sit in the car. How long is this going to take? So then we're walking back to the car, and these are where the shenanigans come in. More shenanigans. We're walking back to the car, and I told you about the super long ditch along the road, right? That's uncovered, which I will insert the video after I finish this part. And I'm walking, and my friend behind me, she's like, watch out, like this. But my two friends were behind me, so I thought she was talking to the other friend because she didn't say my name, right? So I'm mid-step, like left leg is in the air to do another step. Literally just, I didn't even realize that I fell until I hit the ground. And I'm looking up around me, and there is just stone walls around me. And I was like, is this hell? What is happening? It's like, am I dead? Anyway, I'm going to insert the video of what I fell into after this. Here is this ditch. Oh, she has the keys. Here's this ditch. And you get to this part and you cannot even see it anymore. You cannot, there's nothing blocking anything here. Nothing. But this little thing at the end, which is missing color. The other one has safety things, and this one doesn't have anything. And let me show you. Look how far down that is. Look how far down that is that I just fell and slid through. I am in distress. And so anyway, and I'm trying to get out of this ditch, right? The ditch literally, guys, came up to like my boob area, right? Oh my gosh. I'm 5'9", 5'9" tall, or 175 centimeters, for everybody else that's not American. That's how tall that freaking ditch was. Like, it was almost covering my entire body. And I was like shaking, obviously, because I was just so taken aback, by the whole encounter, because like, I didn't even see anything. My friends are screaming because it's so dark. All they saw was me disappear. So they were literally, they thought I went over the like overpass or something like that. They were like screaming and they were freaking out. And they were like, oh my God, where did she go? Because you can't see anything over there. So like from the video that I inserted in here, you can see that you cannot see anything and it's uncovered. And I was like, Taiwan, for real? For real. And so I started moving, and my one friend, Sheila, is a doctor, like a medical doctor. And she's just like, oh my God, I don't think you should move. She's like, be still, be still. Like, no, because I'm laying in freaking sewage or drainage or whatever this is. And I'm like, I can tell that I'm wet, for one. Like, my body is wet. And I'm like, I need to stand up because I don't know if this is blood. I don't know what this is. And I'm like, I need to stand up. And we really couldn't see. So I'm like, but I knew my arm hurt. I knew my leg hurt. Nothing else really hurt at that point, but I was like, I need to physically see what's wrong. So they went and found these two other guys that were, I don't know, loading something into like a truck or something like that. And they tried to come over and to like pull me out of the thing. I don't look it, but I'm very heavy. Okay. And I was like, we're not gonna do this. It's okay. I'm good. I'm going to do it by myself. And like, everybody was like, I don't think, because again, this thing is like so tall that they're like, I don't think you can get out of here without our help. And I was like, I can do it. So, 12-year-old me was very triggered. I have a lot of scars because I was a very rough kid. And so I was just like, okay, I threw my leg up on the other side of the ditch where the trees and stuff were. And I had to literally, I had to lift myself out of this ditch. So I'm bleeding. I am bruised. I am shaking. I am like anxiety ridden because I'm like a little afraid because I don't know what this stuff is all over me. And like my one friend, she said that she was like on the verge of tears. She's like, she's like, literally, I hope I don't have nightmares because I keep seeing you just falling and disappearing in front of me. She was like, it is like, ow. She was like, it is just so, it was very traumatic for everybody involved. Like, really. Because even those men are probably like, these random foreigners are just like, are they going to die in front of us? Like, oh my God. And so then we get out of there. Like, I finally get out of the ditch and I stand up and my friend is like, okay, let me look at you. Cause like, again, I said she's a doctor. So she's like looking me over, but she can't see everything cause I have on jeans. And thank goodness I have on jeans. Cause honestly, if I didn't, I would have been much more scarred up than I am right now because the way I fell, guys, it was, anyway. And so we went back to the motor shop. This poor man, he's just like, these women will not leave me alone. And we had to use his very small bathroom, that just had a sink and a urinal and one little stall in it. And my friend is like, show me where it hurts. She's like, everywhere. Because again, I fell in like a sewage drainage, something kind of ditch. Like whatever it is, it's disgusting. And it's in an open wounds with like with an S. And she's just like, okay, let me see. So my hand was the worst thing. Cause it was like, I could feel my heartbeat in my hand. Like it was just thump, thump. I was like, that's what hurts the most. And I think that's the most pressure. I can't show you because I'm using the phone. My phone screen is shattered. Okay. Like the whole bottom, the whole left side, basically where I was holding it, because I was getting ready to call, I was waiting for the call from the insurance people is what I was doing. And that's when I fell. And even my thing is, even if I'm glad I wasn't on the phone, like, cause maybe I would have been like in a different position. You know what I mean? Cause I was just holding the phone because they told me they were going to call back. So we were just walking back to the car. But it was so dark over there. You couldn't see anything. Like what, you know? So, we go back to to the bathroom, and my friend is just like, pull down your pants. I was like, I have on like basically skinny jeans. And she's like, I don't care. We'll cut them off. I was like, okay. She's like, I need to see your leg right now. I was like, I don't think I'm bleeding though. She was like, take them off. And this bathroom does not have a door. It just has this little curtain thing. And I'm just like, and so my friend takes their soap and she's like, I need soap and band-aids and whatever else you have. And she's like washing my leg and she's like washing my arm and everything. And she's just like, we need to get what, and like I will insert a picture after this part of the clip so you can see like what happened. It's a little bit gory, so if you don't like blood and stuff, you need to like skip after this part of the video stops. Skip that part because it's a little nasty. So basically, my nail went like the way I felt. It broke and went inward, and yeah, and there was like stuff, all this black stuff, all up under my, all up under my nail and nail bed, and all on the side, and it also scratched up the side of my thumb. Was like a gash, but yeah, down the side of my thumb. We had to clean that out, or try to clean it out, because like obviously we're not in a sterile environment, we're not in the hospital, any of those things. And another thing, because my friend was like, we just need to get a taxi and go to a hospital right now. And basically like, there's a rule in Taiwan apparently, like if you call a tow truck or tow company, whatever, if it's after like business hours, like after like 5 p.m.-ish, you have to go, the owner of the car has to go with the tow people to wherever the car is going, to like, because you have to sign at the end to say like you saw the car put in the shop or put at the home or whatever, right? To like basically release the car. And that's why I had to wait instead of going straight to a hospital. So we called the company back again. I was talking to the guy, the car salesman that I bought my car from. And he's like on the phone in between people, and he's just like, she has her 2 friends with her, because we were going out. So I'm like, that's not my fault. Like, we were going somewhere. And so they were like, oh, well, only 2 people can fit inside the tow truck. And I'm like, so one friend's going to just ride the taxi home? Like, what are we doing? And he was like, okay, well, what I can do is I will put whatever other friend in your car and up to the, you know, put it basically on the tow bed. What is it called? Anyway, you know what I mean? When they put the car on the truck bed. Anyway, so we were like, bruh, at this point, I'm literally battered and bruised. Can I please just go to a hospital? Okay. I need to be checked by a physician in a sterile environment. And so, he took us home, and when I tell y'all, I have a very, very high pain tolerance. Last night really, really tested that. Like, and I'm not a crier either. I'm not somebody who just like bursts into tears unless I'm like absolutely overcome with emotion. I was sitting in that tow truck and like my leg was like this. Like the tow truck, I've never seen a tow truck that didn't have room to extend your leg. You know what I mean? Like if you sit in like a regular car, you can like extend your leg. I could not. I literally, like, because of how tall I was, my leg could only be in this down position like this. And my foot was kind of up like that. I wanted to cry because my knee, whatever was happening, and after the like shock and adrenaline is like wearing off of me, right? Because this has been hours at this point of us waiting for this freaking tow truck, because this happened at like 5 p.m. when it was still sunlight. He didn't come get us until like 6:30, almost 7 o'clock. So anyway, so then, I'm sitting in this tow truck. My knee is swelling up. I can't move my leg because my other friend's on the other side of me. So I can't even like shift my body at all. And we have a like 15-minute ride back to my house. And he can't go all that fast because my friend is in the back of the tow bed, right? So he can't like be slinging her around, right? I was in so much pain. Like, I was really, like, I was just breathing. I, like, even my friend was, like, she was just, like, rubbing my arm. She's like, are you okay? Like, I know you're hurt, but, like, you know, just, like, please just, you know, focus on something else. I'm like, I cannot. I'm like, the pain was, like, blinding in that one area. Because initially, my thumb was the one that was, like, pounding. But since the adrenaline wore off, it was my knee. And I was like, and I cannot move it. I can't turn it because I don't know if something's broken. I don't know if I fractured something. I'm like, I don't want to risk messing up my leg even more, you know? And I'm just like, this is craziness. It's craziness. Absolute craziness. So we get back and I have to climb down from the tow truck on this newly injured knee. Sweet Lord. Anyway. So yeah, if you saw the clips with the finger and the bloody and the, yeah. So anyway, we get to the hospital. That's the next of the shenanigans, right? So I get to the hospital and everything, and I get checked in and everything. That was without incident. And so we get to we're checking in and everything. And they tell us to go down and wait for it's like one of the open places where you can like see the doctor, like the triage part or whatever. And so we're sitting there and I will tell you, this old Taiwanese, like not even old, I would say like middle-aged Taiwanese lady. She looked like maybe she was 50 or 60 or something like this. Not even with gray hair. So she could have been like just like 40 something. I don't know. But middle-aged. Like she wasn't like a young woman and she wasn't like super old. Okay. So anyway. This lady literally stared like this at us the entire time we sat there. It was the weirdest thing. Taiwanese people stare, and I wish they would stop because it's so rude. And my thing is they know it's rude because when you stare back at them, they get uncomfortable. And I'm like, how do you think I feel with you staring at me for minutes on end? But when I look at you for a little while, I'm matching your energy. They're like, oh, are you looking at me? Girl, you looking at me. What? Anyway. And so she was like staring, like so much so even like a lot of times if you like wave or something, cause you don't know what's going through a person's mind, right? You like wave or whatever. And even still, she didn't stop staring and she didn't wave back. Then so finally she kind of like looked around and, you know, did one of these. And my friend was like, so then the doctor calls us in the room. Again, with the privacy thing, the door was open while the doctor's talking to me. I was like, what? And so the lady was behind us in the check-in line. So that means she's checking in to see a doctor and whatever, or whoever she's with. So she comes past the room and she sees me. I guess she sees my hair, right? And she like stops while the doctor is like messing around with my finger to like see what's going on with me. Ma'am, are you related to me? Are you my mom? How dare you? No privacy boundaries. Like, what? I had my friend literally close the door. We had to cut off her line of sight or she was not going to stop. It was the weirdest thing. Anyway, so then the doctor, like I told you, my other friend, both these same friends, have been with me this whole ordeal because they're also like traumatized because they're like, we need to see that you are okay because we are not okay. And so, my finger was the most, affected because of the way that I fell. I guess I kind of like skid across the bottom of this ditch. And so my nail was all like bent into itself like you saw in the picture. And, the doctor had to, he was like, well, we don't know what you fell in. And my other friend was convinced that it was sewage. I didn't smell anything. But again, I was definitely like in shock from falling from such a height. And so I was like, I honestly don't know. I'm like, at the very least, it's a drainage ditch. A drainage of what? I don't know. Could be rainwater. Could be, I don't know. And so, he was like, okay, whatever it is. He's like, have you had a tetanus shot in the last 5 years? I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I don't think so. The only shots that I've had recently are like the COVID-19, like the vaccines or whatever. And like a flu shot. I was like, no, I don't think I've had a tetanus shot. He was like, okay, we need to give you a tetanus shot because if you did land in something like that, and this is like a for real open wound, like it's like, you know, he was like, we need to give you a tetanus shot. So I'm like, so I'm not going to be hurt on this side of my body and this side of my body. And it's just, I'm like, this night is getting worse and worse. So shot me in the arm and I was like, bro, whatever at this point. Okay. And then he goes back to the finger. He checked my leg, everything. He's like, okay, this looks good. He was like, it doesn't look like anything's broken. He was like, but you need to keep putting ice packs on it. He was like, if it still hurts a lot and you can't walk normally, you need to come back because then maybe there is something, you know, going on in like that we need to take an x-ray. And so my friend insists that he cleans up under my finger, which obviously like you're supposed to do anyway, because I think they were just going to put some antibiotics on it and just shoo me away. And my friend was like, hell no, you better open up that finger and clean it out. So that's what he did. He opened up my fingernail, like, cause that picture that I showed you, it was just from how I landed. I could not lift it myself. He had to take the tweezers and like pull it out of my skin and lift it up. Like it's like to the middle of my nail, like all that top nail is, and so you could see all the dirt and whatever was in there. And he was just like, he had to take, you know, the syringe needles. He had to take the tip, the actual needle part. And girl, sorry if you guys are boys as well. Digging around on my finger to get the stuff out. Like he had to flick, wipe, flick, like until it was just like clean and bloody again, obviously. And he like, you know, rinsed it and he was like, okay, it looks good. And then he put everything, you know, put the antibiotics on top and whatever. And, you know, gave me another wrapping. I was like, and then, yeah, another wrapping, bandaged up and, anyway. So then we left and we went to go get food because, again, my friends hadn't eaten since lunchtime that day. And they were like, girl, look, we hungry now. Since we know you're okay, we need to go get food. I'm like, I'm fine with that. They were like, we hope you can sit down, you know, for a little while so we can eat and whatever. I was like, I'm also hungry. As he was digging around on my finger, I literally felt my body temperature go up. Like, I started to sweat. I was like, and I took down my mask because, like, here in Taiwan, we still have to wear masks indoors. And so since it was a hospital, I was like, I need to take this mask off my face or I'm going to throw up on you. I was like, because I cannot breathe. Like, I need to fully, like, I need to take, like, a deep breath. And they were like, yeah, it's okay, because we know, you know, we're doing this and whatever. So all of this is without pain medicine, mind you. So imagine somebody taking a literal needle and digging around in your open flesh. Just to give you a visual. And then we went to go get something to eat. That was fine. It was just like, you know, just regular like street food kind of stuff, like beef noodles and rice and whatever. Anyway, So then I get a phone call from the hospital. And I'm like, oh, well, sweet Jesus. I cannot, please. I cannot deal with another thing tonight, okay? It's almost a new day. And so I get a call. And she's like, hi, Miss Walker. I'm like, yes. She's like, you just left the hospital a little while ago, right? I'm like, yeah. So I asked for this paper, this printout paper, to say why I went to the hospital in case I needed it for work, or I don't think I'll need it for work, but just in case, I was like, I should have it instead of me having to physically come back here and get it. And so the lady typed me up one and she printed it out for me. And so the guy at the front, when I paid for my medicine or whatever, he was like, I'll make you a copy. And I was like, okay. So he was like, that way you'll have 2 copies in case you need to give it to someone. I was like, okay, I guess, whatever. And so I thought he had given me my paper back. Y'all, he gave me someone else's paper from the hospital with their date of birth, their name, the reason that they were in the hospital, that they went home, all of this personal, private information. He gave it to me. This is what I'm talking about. The privacy line is completely blurred here. And it's not just here, in Korea as well. It was also my experience. I didn't have to do anything like major like this, but I've seen them announcing somebody's like procedure in the hallway. Like, really? What? That privacy line, it bothers me so bad. It just bothers me. Because if I'm already in pain or I'm going through something traumatic or whatever, I don't want you announcing it to the whole hospital. Like, what? Anyway, and I was like, in the US, we have such strict HIPAA laws. That man would have been fired, for one. Possibly that lady that called too, because it's like, you're his, like, I think she was a nurse or higher up or something. You allowed this to happen instead of double checking him. It would have been craziness if this had been in the US. But they were just like, yeah, okay, give us the other paper back. Thank you. Here go your paper. Bye. Thank you. I was like, I cannot deal with anything else today. I'm just going to let it go. I need to go home. I need to be horizontal in my bed. And I came home. I took a hot shower. And I just... my body felt a little bit better after the hot shower. But I woke up today. My knee is okay. I'm walking normal today. And then, yeah, I'm walking normal today. And, but everything hurts. Like, my back hurts. All of this, like, arm area, this arm area, like this one, the back of my arm and where they shot me hurts, obviously. This one, my bicep hurts and like underneath hurts. My back, my butt. I didn't follow my butt, so I was like, what? All my legs, the back of my legs. My ankles don't hurt though. That's literally the only thing. Everything hurts. Like, it was just a wild experience. It was craziness. And I always tell people how life happens to me. And people always thought I was joking. And then my one friend, she's a new friend of mine from work. And she was there with me this whole time. And she was like, your life is a crazy place. I was like, I told you that. Like, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I'm on the mend. I am looking into, I don't know if suing is the right way or what, but the Taiwanese government, because that drainage ditch should not be just open like that. Like, that has to be a public safety hazard. It has to be. Like, I cannot imagine a scenario where that would be okay to just be open on a road. Like, even if it's not even like a walking road. People in Taiwan walk everywhere. They walk their dogs. They walk their kids. I don't see this not being a public safety hazard. And I was like, It's possible I'm not even the only person that's fallen in this. You know what I mean? Because that man was so mortified when I came in. I'm just like bloody, and like my friends are like upset. And he's like, you know, like looking around like, oh no, I had to be the only shop on this road. But he was a very nice man, like I said. And I'm hoping nothing serious is wrong with my car. And yeah, I just do better, Taiwan, please, because I have never injured myself like this anywhere else that I've lived. So please, you know, just, anyway, I'm, you know, on the mend, fresh new bandages all over, and on my knee and, on my leg and everything. And I'm hoping with this resting this weekend and not straining myself a whole lot, by Monday that I'll be, you know, I won't be back to normal, because like my body hurts, and I know this is going to be, quite a few days of this, like, of hurting like this. So, yeah, I'm just going to take the medicine and everything that the doctor gave me, and hopefully not have to go back to the hospital for anything, because it doesn't look like anything's broken. Thank goodness. And yeah, so welcome to my crazy life, y'all. And yeah, bye.